news texter read that.
Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back, I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money. Hard work leads to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned into the Prisoner2Painter. Prisoner2Painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner2Painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
We're live.
Yep. Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie McDermott.
And today joining us, old guest, CEO, friend, Justin Counts.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Thank you for coming on. I'm super excited for this. It's always cool when we have a returning guest because it feels more...
We've established rapport, so it feels more natural.
Well, and it's easier. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
But today's different. I will compare it to like how we did your story first, and then we'll do this different. Where you're at now, we kind of did the same with Derek Doby's, a couple other people. We asked their story, but then we're gonna ask you what you're doing now, because what you're doing now is fucking huge, in my opinion. So awesome, dude. So I guess firstly, what made you decide to name it Jackson Strength Network?
Well, basically, I think one of my best talents and gifts is that I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've gotten the chance to meet a lot of people, and I build connections with people, and I see everyone as a resource in a way. You know, everybody has a unique skill set, and they have a gift, a natural gift that God gave them. So, you know, I figured we need someone to put all of those people together. When I was first starting thinking about a nonprofit, it was actually going to be called All Kinds.
Okay.
Because I had this thought, like, it's going to take all kinds of people to come together to make change, right?
100%.
You need the doctors, the lawyers, the smart people that have been to college, but also you need these other kind of people, street smart people. You know, there are guys that maybe formerly incarcerated or returning neighbors. There's the guys that have been through Vietnam and been through the war in Afghanistan. We have to bring all kinds of people together to tackle these really hard challenges and issues that we have within our society. So really, it was because of that idea, that thought, you know, we really need a really strong network.
Yeah.
And as a case manager, I learned that sometimes people need a warm handoff.
Yes.
You know, and I would learn to find all the resources in town. That way, if I ran into a particular situation, say a young lady going through domestic violence, I would make it my business to know all of the domestic violence resources within the city. That way I could be able to make a direct, warm handoff. I could walk them directly into an office or call directly to the person that they need to speak to.
Yeah.
So that was why I wanted to make sure I put that in the name.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, so that people understand that this organization is not about me, right? It's not the Justin Network. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah.
I look at it as this is Jackson's, right? I just happen to be the face, right? So it's Jackson's strength, signifying the strength that we have together. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, if you have one stick, it's really easy to snap one stick.
Yes, sir.
But if you pile several sticks together, it becomes quite harder to break. And we're the same way. It's really easy for the system to take me out. You know, I'm a guy that's formerly incarcerated. I have minimal resources. So it's hard for me to do things that I want to do alone. But I'm learning through the cooperation and help with many. We're able to do big things.
Yes, sir. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to go in order because my mind's all over the place with questions. So forgive me that we're going to be all over the place. One of my big questions that I really wanted to ask you is Jackson is a weak mayor system. So did some of this stem from you wanted to make change, but there's no way you can make change in the mayor position. So is this your way of helping Jackson without running for mayor? For office?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always knew that running for office wasn't going to be for me.
Okay. Gotcha.
I remember when I first asked to change my life, you know, I asked for God to use me in a way. And God always told me the message that he always told me, that he would have me sent out to the streets where people need it the most. And I realized that that's where my gift remains. We need people on the streets that can navigate the streets, that can talk and communicate with the population, and come from a place of no judgment. And that's what I do the best, is I don't judge anyone. And that's because there's no verse. People that have been forgiven a lot, you know, we have that understanding of how much that we've been forgiven. So I can't judge nobody else for the little things that they do when I've done just as much as more in my own personal life, right? And then I'm still a person, so I still have my own shortcomings. I suffer from trauma, so I have my own vices and things, trauma vices that aren't necessarily the best thing for me. So I know that if I still struggle with these things, how can I judge my fellow brother or my fellow sister, right? For struggling with whatever vices that they're coping mechanisms, right? Right? We all develop our different coping mechanisms, and some are positive and some we know are negative. Right? So for me, when dealing with people, it makes it a lot easier because I don't judge them. You know, I know what it's like to be them.
Yes, sir. I'm going to ask one more question, then I'll turn it over to you. I've asked every other candidate for mayor this, and I just want your standpoint on this. Gun violence in Jackson, how do we fix it, or what's your take on it?
Well, the hot take on it is we need better policing. Currently, the way that police operate, they have to rely on the word of a confidential informant, which we call a snitch, right? Most of the casework that happens in our town, it only comes from people snitching or confidential informants. Jackson is not the city where you're going to see a real crime scene investigators, real fingerprint work done, and real, you know. No, you're going to see the state boys and maybe a JPD officer. You're not going to see exactly. So that's about it. So our detectives are like really are not trained and not equipped enough to handle the work that really needs to be done. Because for one, we need to figure out, how is it so easy for the kids to get guns? The kids can get guns faster than they can get jobs. And they can get it so easily off. It's easier to get a gun illegally than it is to get a gun legally. It's easier. It's literally easier. And I know this from experience. Growing up as a kid in New Jersey, we would be able to purchase throwaway weapons, usually from cartel gang members and things like that. So we know that this is still the same. There's nothing new under the sun, right? So we know that there's someone here is supplying all the guns to the children. So why aren't there active investigations actually trying to get rid of the guns? And what we're seeing in the community, I mean, just look at just a couple shootings that happened last, right, with Mama Tutu's son. You know, those guys, it was in the newspaper that they were stopped and they had a legal firearm in possession. And what happened after that? So these are the things that we have to have more training. We need better resources to help get the guns out the street. Some cities are doing more proactive things, like the police have scanners that can scan vehicles as they're going by to see if there's a firearm present in the vehicle. You know, there's things that we can do to be better equip our police officers, for one. Secondly, we have to start being proactive in our community with more education, we need gun safety training, first of all. Yep. Too many children are dying by the hands of a firearm because they're just playing with it.
Yeah, like it's a toy.
Right, right. They don't understand the safety of it. Yep. And that's because a lot of, especially our children in the inner city, they're not being trained on how to use a gun properly because a gun in most of our homes is seen in such a negative way.
I was just going to ask that very quickly to interject. My question is because it's a bad thing in the city to have a gun. Realistically, if you're out in the country, it's okay because you can shoot guns, whatever. So I feel like you're taught more about guns not in the city than you are in the city. And then I'll piggyback on that to say one of the episodes I said this in, and I want your feedback on it, good or bad. You fucking beat me down if I was wrong. I said it starts at home, and I got beat up in the comments over it. But I said I think a big section of it starts at home, like being educated on guns, stuff like that.
It does, but a lot of it, you have to understand, starts off because of stigmatisms and racism, right? Okay. Growing up in our homes, right, we're discouraged from playing with guns, even at early ages. I remember my mother saying, no, you can't have that water gun. The guns aren't allowed in my house.
Gotcha.
And the reason for that was because young Black children were either getting killed on the street for playing with fake guns, right? Or someone else might kill them on the street for playing with a fake gun.
Thinking it's real or whatever.
Thinking it's real, right? Yep. So, and then also just guns have such a negative stigma within our community because so many of us are formerly incarcerated. So for me, I can't even be around the gun, right? Yep. Even though that I've been free 11 years, right? And even though that I've always been nonviolent my whole life, right? I can never have a gun. So for me, it's a negative for me. And I can't even entertain gun safety or gun training or anything like that. So now, generationally, now I can't teach my son, right? Whereas other households, they get to teach their son very early in life, right? But because of me being in the system, I can't. So that happens to a lot of people within the inner city community, and it keeps them out of that access, having that.
That's why I love having you as a friend as well. I never thought that. That never even crossed my mind that would be a barrier. No, that never even, wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. That's why we're here.
And I also remember growing up, because like even if the fake guns are like brightly colored or like they're little pop guns or whatever, I can remember that my mom and other people, if we're playing, say we're playing outside, we're like pop, 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 and we do like this, like you never aim it intentionally like that at somebody. That is not okay. Like even with a play gun, you do not do that. Like, oh, it's a water gun, but not like. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what we teach as well too.
2 questions that we didn't get to ask you that we just fucking made, so I'm excited to ask them. If you could go back in history to any day in history, what day would it be? Just to observe. Cannot change anything.
And it could be any day in history.
What day would it be and why?
Man, what day would it be and why? Ooh, this might make a lot of people upset. I'd like to see the start of it all.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the birth of the universe.
Right on.
I'd just like to witness that and see how it started.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a very long moment in history, but that was before a construct of time was made by man. So it could be like that, or it could be like
you're there forever.
Man, like at least just how it started.
Right on.
The first initial action.
Nice.
That caused a reaction. I would love to see that moment.
Yes, sir.
And if not that, then just take me back to any time during the Egyptian period when they built the pyramids. That would be interesting too.
Yes.
See if it's aliens or not.
Yeah, some giants walking around, maybe. You know what I mean?
And then the other question is, if you could have dinner with anybody from history, a person, Abe Lincoln, all the way to Jesus himself, you could have dinner with one person. Who would it be?
And what are you eating?
Man, that's a great question. I never thought about that, like nothing like that. Anybody in history? Man, I would have to eat I would want to break bread with the man himself.
Right on.
With Jesus, probably. I would like to, I just would want to sit at the table and eat the bread.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I think that would be cool too.
Yeah.
Just to see him and, talk to him and see what he think about today's
Yeah.
time would be kind of interesting.
Follow-up
I
question. You
wouldn't.
said sit at the table. You mean like Last Supper?
Yeah.
Or do you mean
Hell yeah, I want to see at that
I
table.
want to sit at the Last Supper.
Okay, so
what I
you want the Jesus and all the disciples.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see the whole gang.
Okay.
I
All right.
Hell yeah.
mean, like, so Judas, what made you do what you did?
Yeah.
Judas,
Hey, buddy.
Like, did you get enough shackles?
Yeah. Man, no, that's great. Honestly, I was telling Rick about that being a new question, and we were laughing together. I'm like, yeah, everybody says such a cool name, and God, this one person said his mom, and I just broke down. I was like, I started tearing up. He said their mom, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, their mom died. I was like,
deep.
oh shit. Yeah, I started tearing up on that one, man. When did you start Jackson Strength Network?
Wow, I started Jackson Strength Network last August, July.
Is that official? Because I feel like I've seen you doing this before that, because we knew you before then, right?
Yes, I was doing it way before that.
Okay.
I've been doing this work for the last maybe 9 years now.
Okay.
Right. But just to start an official nonprofit, I did that last year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So working so closely with people in the community and being out on the streets and the work that you used to do, what would you say are some resources that we're lacking that the community absolutely needs more of?
Oh yeah, we need housing resources for people that are formerly incarcerated.
Yeah.
Which I call my returning neighbors.
Mhm.
So get used to that terminology.
Yes, sir.
Returning neighbors.
Returning neighbors.
Because they have to come back to our communities. We know that most people that go to prison eventually are going to come back home.
Yes, sir.
So they're going to work at the Krogers. They're going to work at Myers. You
Yep.
know, we're going to be shoulder to shoulder sometimes with
Yep.
people that have been incarcerated, right? So I know as a person that struggles with this myself, in Jackson right now, we discriminate against our returning neighbors. Period. Like, I'm talking about some of the lowest paying jobs. That's the only ones that you're gonna get.
And you might not
For
even
the
get
most part.
them sometimes.
And you might not even get them,
Yeah.
especially depending on the amount of post-incarceration trauma.
Yes.
We call it PICS.
Okay.
It's the amount of trauma that you have post-incarceration. Because there's a lot that people don't even realize that people go through post-incarceration that they have to deal with. Just like for me, this room is big enough, but if you had one more wall right here, it would be too small for me to sit in without a window.
I understand.
Right?
Yep.
My anxiety, especially if I was alone. Me and you here, it would be cool.
Mhm.
But if I was alone, it would get to bother me really
Get
bad.
it closing in almost. I get it.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So there's a lot of things that happen with people that are incarcerated, and when they release that the general public just don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to keep traditional jobs sometimes. Sometimes it's hard for them to work in public settings. You know, it might be case by case different for every person, but what that does is it hinders their ability to earn, right? So even though they have the want, the will, the means to work and earn for themselves, what happens is people put barriers in their way that stops them. And one of the major things is housing.
Yeah.
You can be denied housing for having a felony. And literally to this day, last year I applied for Abbey Villas, the Abbey Villas, whatever the new name is.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kings something,
Right.
I think.
I wouldn't even really want to live there, right?
Yeah, but just,
Because
I need a place.
they got roaches and all that.
I
You know?
mean, just the Abbeys.
Yeah.
It's the stigma that comes with the places.
Yeah. But I can't get approved there.
Mhm.
Even working at Community Action Agency, I was denied, right? So you're telling me, the society is telling me as a person that I don't deserve to live anywhere. Because if I can't get approved at Abbey Villas, right? Let's be honest.
You might as well say that.
Yeah, you know, you're just telling me that, hey, I need to live under a bridge.
Yeah.
And then we look at the people that are living outside on the library, right? How many of them are formerly incarcerated? Think about that.
Yeah.
Or have a felony on their record,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So now they can't even get housing if they wanted to.
Well, and then also the fact that they don't have access to maybe all of their documentation that they need.
Exactly.
They have mental health struggles. They have physical health struggles. They're a veteran. Like there's so many factors that could contribute to somebody being unhoused. That is insane that people don't think of all of those things.
Yes, but when we live in our own comfortable lives, or we build a bubble around ourselves, and then we build like we start to think and believe things in our mind. Well, if I can do this, or my friends did this, and my grandfather did this, then anyone can do this. But we don't understand that life is an equation. It's about factors. Factors. We see this in science. We understand this in science. In chemistry, when I bake something, if I add too much salt or too much flour, I'm throwing off the chemical composition of this baked item.
And even if you get the mixture completely right, then the catalyst matters. Maybe you're 25 degrees too hot or 25 degrees too cold.
It matters.
Yes,
I get you.
everything matters. And life is like that too. You know, trauma is like one of those big things that people are talking on these days, but it's because we're really starting to understand the severity of it and how much it really does factor in to that equation. Because if you minus trauma out of most people, you wouldn't have full prisons. You wouldn't have full mental hospitals, right? One of the doctors at last night's event said that she believes that mostly all mental illnesses are due to trauma or generational trauma.
I can believe that.
Well, genetics play a huge part in a lot of them.
Yes.
But we're still learning that certain diagnoses are actually just different types of PTSD, different types of traumatization. And then, you know, that brings up nature versus nurture, which is a huge argument. And I think both play factors equally, right?
Yes.
A lot of people disagree that it's all how you raise your kid or it's all how they're born. And that's just not how it works. It's like, you're right, baking a cake. I could mix it perfectly, perfect ingredients, but then how I cool it afterwards, like it's not going to look good with frosting on it. If I put the frosting on right hot out of the oven, it's going to melt all off and be terrible. So it's factors of both.
So there's a new study that I learned, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
There's a field called epigenetics. And it talks about you have memories that are passed down genetically.
Yes.
So we pass down trauma genetically too.
Survival instincts.
Okay, I get it.
So understand that even trauma can be passed down generations to generations genetically through your DNA, right? I've always suffered from oppositional defiance disorder is what they would call it, right? What they term it. But it only comes in certain situations. And I had to go through therapy my whole life to understand, why do I feel this way? Why am I only getting angry in this one situation? So once I got a therapist and she started breaking it down, when is it that you get angry and why? What is the situation? What happens? Well, it's usually when my boss says something. And what does it make you feel? Well, it makes me feel like he's talking to me stupid or he thinks I'm dumb. And it's like, well, why is it that it only happens when he does it? Does it happen when a female does it? I'm like, no. And she helped me understand that sometimes we have traumas associated with memories, and that's where the epigenetics comes from, right? So now me, as an understanding, I had to think about who raised me, how I was raised. I was raised by my father, who was a firefighter, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather. My grandfather was in the Air Force. He was born in the 30s. These are men from the South in the 1930s, right? 40s and 50s. Right. And then the men before them in my generation probably were in the field somewhere. Right. So I probably have a lot of recessive memories in here in this DNA structure of mine. Right. And a lot of them are not even mine, but they've been passed down, this fear, this trauma from generation to generation to generation. Now all of a sudden I'm stuck with it here trying to digest it all. Like, I don't even have any reason to be angry with this man in front of me that did nothing to me. But for some reason, when he interacts with me, my heart starts racing. Same thing we're seeing now in our children. I want you guys to do this and remember this. When you talk to our inner city children, ask them how they feel about the police. Right? A common thing you see in children in the inner city is a fear of the police.
Mm-hmm.
Pass down traumas for
Pass
sure.
down traumas.
Well, it's like muscle memory. That's where we get like the uncanny valley, where
Yeah.
something looks slightly. This is kind of off
No, I
topic,
get
but the
it, I
uncanny
get it.
valley is like it looks human enough that you're like, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
It
And that
comes
comes
from-
from
yeah.
way back ancestors.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was something that could like camouflage, that would look human, that could eat you.
Mhm.
So you don't do that. It's like people
Yeah.
being afraid of the dark. It's
Yeah.
like it so many different things. It's like muscle memory through DNA.
Yes.
So a couple of huge points that I wanted to touch on. I'll make sure I get to them. But you did just say one thing, and I want to say this because you're one of the best people to talk to about with this. And I think me and you are breaking down bridges and barriers, just me and you.
Mhm.
Well, us, but I mean like just us in general.
I'm
So-
over here.
So I'm gonna say this. So I worked at Trips. I painted cars. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm a fucking 5-time felon. I'm a scumbag. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Pull your bootstraps up. Clearly, I've changed my mindset, but that's what I was.
Mhm.
And then when I first interviewed you, you didn't say this specifically, but this is what I heard. You're white,
Mhm.
and I you know what I'm saying, and that's true. Do you think that plays a huge role in people returning home, white or black? Do you think that still plays a big role?
Yes,
Yeah.
people don't believe it. And I even have white friends that I try to help understand this.
Yeah.
But there's actually a study. They asked the average American, they did a pool of, let's just say 1,000 Americans.
Mhm.
Then they had them all close their eyes. And they said, when you hear the word prisoner, inmate,
Mhm.
drug dealer, picture in your head, what do you see?
Mhm.
What's the first image that comes to your mind?
Mhm.
Majority of Americans see a black or colored person.
Yes, sir.
When you mention prison, inmate, convict, drug dealer,
Mhm.
any of those felons,
Yep.
any of those terms,
Yep.
in our minds, we're going to picture a colored person
Mhm.
or black person.
That is so wild to me because in my experience, when, back when we were doing all of the drugs and all of the things, right?
Mhm.
I can think of maybe one African-American person that I ever bought drugs.
Yeah. No, I mean, really.
Ever. And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
known lots
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indy's still a friend, but that's besides the point.
Majority were older white men, like mid, like anywhere from 30s to 50-ish.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'd get an older one, but they were
Yeah.
usually some ladies too.
Yeah.
And then this is off topic, but this goes off of what we just talked about before I really want to get to the Reed Manor fires and how you're helping Jackson. But you said something about, and it's almost like it's taught to us. And how do you fix something like that? The white woman that's taking care of the black baby in the hospital. Me and you have this conversation, and,
Yeah.
and you can't teach the white lady empathy for the black baby, and they're not going to be as empathetic as if it was a white baby. You kind of taught me that, and I just sat on that. That's how do you fix that?
It's
I
just
mean-
what he's talking about is unconscious bias.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Right now, the statistics in our city right now,
Mhm.
there are more black stillborn babies
Yes.
than any other race right now,
Okay.
right? There are more black mothers that die having babies
Mhm.
than any other race right now. A person that lives on the south side of Jackson, this goes for black and white. If you live on the south side, let's just say First Street, Biddle Street, black or white, your average age expectancy is 20 years shorter than someone who lives on the west side of town.
Damn.
And these are all part of the same thing. It's unconscious bias.
Mhm.
Think about even how we talk about crime, right? We had to create a new label for the criminal who was white, right?
Yeah.
It's called white collar crime.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So when you hear white collar crime, right, you think of safer, right? Somebody who just was writing checks or maybe did some
Stole
fraud.
some artwork
It makes
or
me
something.
think of Little Dicky.
Yeah.
That
really.
song, White
Yeah.
Crime, where he's like, I'm
Yes.
sneaking food in the movie theater. I'm
Yes.
doing this.
So
Like,
when you have that mindset, right, as a community, it's much easier to hire the white man who comes from prison.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I can see you and I can see someone who maybe needs another chance, right? But when I have that unconscious bias, right,
Mhm.
to thinking that, oh, black people are lazy, black people are violent, black people are this, or Mexicans are
It's hard to give a
rapists,
second chance.
it's
Yeah.
hard to oversee that
Mhm.
because it's part of that genetic code and it's that helps you survive, right?
Mhm.
It's that thing once you touch the fire and you get burnt
Mhm.
enough, You're like, oh,
shit, don't do that.
right? I'm not going to do that no more. And that's how we all are, you know, white and black. Black people have been burnt enough to now we don't stick our hand in the fire. We're like, oh, we know what happens when we do that, you know? So, but now it's the time to educate people. So once you understand that unconscious biases are real, right? They are real. Even I myself, when the group of young males all got that ski masks on, I'm like, hold on. So I understand those unconscious biases are real. But it's our job as people to step outside of our biases, right? So this is how I can talk to someone who is racist and knowing that he's racist and still have no hate in my heart for that person because I have understanding to know that he was raised that way, right? So at the end of the day, it's not what's wrong with people, it's what happened to people. I know what happened to them to make him this way, right? So now I'm not mad at the person, right? I'm mad at the actions. I'm never mad or upset at the people because 9 times out of 10, it's not what's wrong with the person. It's what happened to them. Factors, remember? Factors. We don't get to choose. I didn't get to choose to be born black. You don't get to choose to be born white, right? If my parents are racist, I don't get a chance to choose that. If my parents are Jews, I don't get a chance to choose that. Right? I'm just Jewish. Right?
I mean, I would argue that religion is one of the choices that you can make about your life.
But family traditions.
Right.
You can choose to not be Jewish, but guess what? Your family might not rock with you.
You
know, there will be consequences for that. And it's not something that you can just like, it's just like poverty, right? Some people get to start life at an amazing head start. And that's one thing that is not fair about to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Because 90% of people that are successful, they are successful because they're going off the backs of their parents. And if we're going off the backs of our parents, that means somewhere down the line, we either benefited from either free labor or some type of privilege. Right? Because even myself, I come from a slave plantation called the Counts Plantation in South Carolina. One of my ancestors, the first black man that was freed in my family, his name was Lindsey Counts. He's a privileged black man because he was smart. He knew how to read because of his owners allowed them to read. So every man, black male in my family lineage from South Carolina all the way up to New Jersey, you find educated, strong black men. It's in our DNA. So in a way, I was privileged more than other black men were, right? So I understand that, right? It's just getting others to understand that. In one way or another, whether we're successful or not, and we got it off on our own, right? Like some people say, in some way, we had the fortune to either stand off the back of somebody else's work, right? Because mom allowed me to go to school. She paid for me the good school, to go to the good school in a good neighborhood, live a trauma-free life so that I can focus on school. She might have paid for college so that I can get a head start. You know, it's not the same for all people. Some people are starting off life 16 with a child and off on their own, you know. So we can't judge people for where they're at in life, knowing that everybody doesn't start with the same. There's no real fairness in life like that. You know, I could be born to a pedophile that does harmful things to me, and it's not fair, right? But that's the way life is, and because I know that, that's what helps me deal with people and understanding that it's not what's wrong with this person. Like I keep saying that. It's always what happened because those factors do matter.
This is what I love about you, though, because you educate instead of, I think that's why we're really good friends. If I don't understand something about culture or race or anything, you're never the guy to, oh, what the fuck, Nathan? No, let me help you. Let me educate you. You and Hakeem both have been detrimental in that with me.
Well, that is how it should be.
Well, yes,
honestly.
but it's hard to say that because I can't say what I expect out of somebody. And so it's difficult to say yes. But also me not having no malice probably makes it easier to want to teach somebody than somebody who's got fucking malice. I get that. But you and Hakeem both have been like, I mean, fuck, he invited me to a Kwanzaa thing. I was like, oh, son of a bitch, dude. I was a drop of vanilla in there, man. It was great. No, it was great though. It was a fun time.
Because Kwanzaa really is an American holiday.
Yes.
Okay.
People don't understand. Like, just I don't get too deep into this. Right. But most holidays are created, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By man or woman.
100%.
Right. But at least this was a holiday that was created by Americans for Americans. Mm-hmm. None of the other ones are, really.
No, I can't think of one.
But the 4th of July.
Yeah. Okay. One. All right.
The biggest one. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay. No, you're right. You're
that
right.
one is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this was American.
Yeah.
So it should be celebrated as an American holiday. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're at we're at that precipice as a country and a nation. We have to stop the division because we're just a beautiful melting pot, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only one race, and it's humans. Mm-hmm. And when we get people to understand that, like there's only one race, we're just all different shades of brown. Like nobody's even truly white. Nope. Like that's what always makes me laugh. Like this is white, right? Yeah. Ain't nobody walking around white. Because if you ain't got no blood in your body, you're dead.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
You lack total pigment, right?
Yeah. Total pigment.
Yeah.
At all. And I've never seen anybody that color.
Never.
Ever. Right? Yeah. But we are all shades of brown. Mm-hmm. Right? And we understand that. Right? When we understand, even if you look at from the science aspect of it, or religion aspect of it, which I love both. I'm a science guy by trade, by nature, and I love science, but I also understand religion as well. Mm-hmm. So even on both arguments, right, it still says the same thing. Yep. Right? Yep. Science says we're all related. Religion says we're all related.
And then also, I make this point a lot. I believe, this is, I'll get into my little belief. Okay, so science is parts of the universe and parts of religion that we can understand. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think magic is stuff that we do not understand yet.
Yes.
And everything's mathematical and scientific in nature. So it works somehow. Yeah. Even if it's energy work, it still works. It's still scientific. Yeah. So it's just people get that disconnect there because it's the woo-woo. Yeah. Oh, we're still live.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, break.
Yeah, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the friggin'. That's my mistake, everybody. Sorry. I'm trying to take the banner off so I can see the damn comments. Okay, perfect. We're still good. Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties because I hit the wrong button.
Okay, your mom says caring and giving back is the best. Good for you.
Oh, that was a good recovery. Pat myself on the back on that one.
Because you touched the bat button.
No, I see that now, so don't do that for future reference. So, dude, I feel like we got off topic there a little bit, but
that's all right.
But Jackson Strength Network, dude, giving back to the community. I love what you do with your fatherhood stuff. One big thing that I feel like was huge lately was the Reed Manor fire and how you guys actively just boosted the ground and you did what you could. Can we talk a little bit about that? Awesome.
Yeah, well, I used to work at Reed Manor. That's what started my professional work in the community. I started off as a resource specialist. Mm-hmm. Someone that just knows the resources and you connect people to the resources. So I was helping people fill out DHS applications, Social Security applications, getting doctor's appointments, things like that.
Yes, sir.
I did that for about a year. And then I got a little more training. And then I moved up and became a housing case manager.
Nice.
So it was my job to make sure that they stayed in their housing. Mm-hmm. So at Jackson Housing Commission, I was paid basically to argue against them. To save people housing. So it was a wonderful job, man. I got to do things like make sure people weren't evicted. So they allowed me to do almost anything that I could to help keep people's housing.
Heck yeah.
And it became like just something that I like, man. We created programs down there for people, you know, having a case manager on site that can see directly the issues that they were going through and be first to interfere and intervene, right?
Yeah.
And help change.
Somebody on your team, man. It's good having somebody on your team when you feel like they're out to get you or people are out to get you. That's great.
Yes. So that's how I learned to do what I do now. Is, our team down there with Anthony Gittens and Hakeem, like they really showed us how to be crisis interventionists. Right? And that's how all of our work started, was learning to be crisis interventionists. And how to prevent crisis and how to give people the tools and resources that they needed. So that's what drew me to the population. And the night of the fire, you know, I didn't really think much of it. It wasn't until the next morning I was just going down there to go drone the damage. You know, I wanted to take pictures of just, you know, see how bad the buildings was. You know, and I got there and I see like older guys that I call like sleeping in the car, the gas running, the car running. And I seen another a musician that I know from here. Cool brother, man. He plays in a live band.
Nice.
He's like almost in tears, you know, grown man. He's like, man, nobody's helping me. They're not giving us nowhere to go. And I got so upset seeing people just sprawled out everywhere, lost. They had a community meeting that morning, and I went inside the building. They weren't even feeding the people. No water, like no nothing. So I got angry, bro. Like I literally drove to my job, to my shop, my store downtown. I sat in my car in the parking lot.
I remember that.
And I just went live and I went nuclear. Like I had to apologize to my mama pastors and, you know, all of my mentors, you know, because I usually don't talk like that in public. But it was, if I cry, man, it's usually somebody's getting hurt after that. And that's part of my trauma response, you know. You ever see the kid that cried when he's about to fight? You get so angry and they cry. That was me. And as I got older, I would cry more because I know it's gonna happen once I lose control. And this green guy comes out. And that's how I was feeling that day, you know. And being where I'm at now in my life with all the education and, you know, training that I'm now, it was like, to be that angry and not be able to physically do what I wanted to do, it was hard. So the only thing that I could do was make that video. It was the only power that I had. But I'm glad I did, because it really lit a fire under people to get them to see that these are real lives down here. You know, because to go online and see the comments, you know, let them people burn in there, you know, they were all just junkies and, you know, that hurt, man, especially like knowing these are our people. And what's funny is people don't realize like the population down there is a majority white.
And older too.
And older.
Because it's subsidized, which is what they can afford.
It's a disabled home. It's a disabled community, right? The problems, if you really dissected it, because I worked there, the age of the disabled person has become younger and younger these days. That's the problem. So people, they judge the community because they see what they assume are young, able-bodied people, and they're like, oh, they just drug addicts down there. But they're not understanding. To live down there, they have to be disabled.
Well, and that goes into people, if you can't see it, it's not disabling.
It's not disabling.
And that's so dumb, because there are things that you can't see that are absolutely disabling.
You have no idea. You can't see the voices, the many voices that are going on in my head. You can't see that. I remember I had a client once. She had the most immaculate apartment ever. I mean, you could eat off the floor. That's how bad it was. But she had such a bad, severe mental illness that all she saw was bugs.
So that's why it was so clean, right?
So all she would do was just constantly clean. And anything that she saw in her mind, it was a bug. You know, so these are things that you can't see, right? You're not going to know that when somebody comes applies for a job at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to know what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we can't judge people for what's going on. So really, the problem is mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real problem down there that we don't want to address.
Well, dude, you and I'm not bashing on anybody, so this is not meant towards one person, but I hear a lot of people. I'm going to help. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I just seen you helping. I just seen you. Like, I mean, yes, other people here or there, whatever, but, and I'm talking about the Reed Manor Fire specifically, but then I'm going to say, even on a broader term, is I hear a lot of I want to help, but I don't see a lot of footwork. When I think of Justin Counts, I see a lot of footwork. So that's why I wanted you on, man. Like, I don't know what you do different, but you can see a very big difference of you compared to other networks or nonprofits that are doing things in Jackson.
Yeah.
Like you stand out in a good way.
Well, I was trained by men that, you know, Anthony and Hakeem, man, they're the kind of guys that they don't make excuses for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hakeem went to prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going to prison angry, he accepted it for things that he did do, you know?
Yeah.
And he still worked on change in his life, right? So he took accountability for something he didn't do. Yeah. So we come from that first. We're accountable to our community.
Mm-hmm.
So as men, right, we're accountable to our community. So we just do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When you're homeless and you're hungry, you don't want to hear, oh, I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a fucking burger.
You don't want to hear, oh, walk down to this pantry.
Yeah.
Oh, you want somebody to slap you with some food right now, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how everything that they showed me was like, yo, we just do.
Mm-hmm.
We see kids ain't got food. Kids food program.
They got food now.
You know, kids ain't got nothing to do. Anthony started chess club. You know, let's partner with Thomas Burke and let's do a chess club for kids. You know, everything was always, if they saw something, they filled that gap. When we started working at Reed Manor, I'll never forget this ever. There was a young man, about 24 years old, and he was eating cold ravioli out of a can with the pop top. Mm-hmm. And I remember Anthony saw that and he was like, asked him like, hey, you don't got no dishes in your house, do you? And he was like, I don't know how to use the stove, right? Mm-hmm. But he said severe mental illness. Mm-hmm. Probably shouldn't be on his own, but he is, you know? So he couldn't cook for himself. So Anthony and Hakeem, they went and wrote letters, got a grant, got donations, and they created the Feed Thy Neighbor program. And I watched them build all of it, right? And then I helped manage it after they left. Mm-hmm. And we helped raise money for the program to keep it going. I worked with Bob Bills to cook on meals every single day, every week, you know. It became like my baby. But I watched them build it from nothing. Mm-hmm. And it literally was because he saw this boy eating cold ravioli, and he was like, damn, if we can just give him one hot meal a day, right? Because we knew, I mean, and we could have probably connected him to Meals on Wheels or something, and, you know, maybe they'd give him a microwave meal and a cold sandwich, but we were like, man, we can do something better than that. Mm-hmm. We provide a meal a day. This will create a community where everybody has to come eat. Yep. We'll just serve food till it runs out every single day. And this became something that the community looked forward to. They came every single day, Monday through Friday. Okay. We ate together. We broke bread together. Oh, yeah. And if they had issues, we were there right there on scene to handle it immediately. Awesome. Yeah.
How does Pop-Up Roundup fit into this? How does your store? Is this just a side endeavor? Like is this or are they connected at all?
Everything is connected in a way.
Yeah.
Everything that I do is connected in a way. It's the network. Yeah. You know, Pop-Up Roundup is owned and found by Larry Harris, my business partner. Okay. Larry Harris is someone that God just brought to me. You know, he wanted to go into business. He said he wanted to build an incubator place where young entrepreneurs can grow their business and learn how to, start a business.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, of course, I want to come in there.
Oh yeah.
So I brought my retail company, Offer Lesson, and we've been going into business together. So we still operate as like a flea market and incubator place for young entrepreneurs to come sell their products.
Awesome.
We have low cost entry barriers for them to be able to sell their products.
Cool.
And we also offer consignment available too. So we'll sell the products for them. But the idea is to help people with businesses. So this is where I do most of my like one-on-one consultations. Anybody that subscribes to me on Facebook, like my subscription is only 99 cents a month. But with that 99 cents a month, I give people access to me and all of my knowledge and information. So if you're a person that wants to start a business and you subscribe to me, I will schedule with them like every other week, one-on-ones, hour one-on-ones. They can come down and I'll help them do whatever they need, whether it be paperwork, website design, maybe just consultation, those type of things.
Awesome.
Like I'm helping a lady build a nonprofit now. So,
Heck yeah.
we just do those type of things. I try to be a resource to people.
Yes, sir. What does legacy mean to you?
Man, legacy is the name, right? I came here as a kid by myself trying to reconnect with family and meet my mother that never raised me, right? So I'm the only counts here.
Okay.
I'm the only one.
Yes, sir.
It's me, my wife, and my son. So this name will be what I make it, right? And when I'm long gone, like, this name will still be here, right? God willing.
Yes, sir.
And the impact that's still around after you're gone, that's what matters.
Yes, sir.
Like, what people say about you after you're gone and you're long gone, that's the legacy.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because some people never get a chance to have that. I know people that are only gone 5 years and their name don't get mentioned anymore. So a real legacy is like that lasting image you leave on the people around you.
So getting close to the end here, but a couple other questions. One of my big ones that I wanted to ask was, what's next for Jackson Strength Network? What's what are you planning to do? I know you do the fatherhood event every year. So I know that you do a lot, but
Yes.
so what's coming up for Jackson Strength?
Yes, so June 13th, next Saturday, we have our second annual A Father's Legacy event. I'm going to turn this into a community barbecue and cookout. I want to have a community barbecue every year for our fathers. We're going to do something special by giving our first ever Father of the Year trophies out to some deserving fathers that we highlight in the community. We're going to do sign-up sheets so people can nominate amazing fathers for next year. But other than that, we're really trying to solidify the Jackson Strength Network. I want to be just as big as Community Action Agency. And I know that's a very lofty, high goal, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We have 6 pillars of programming that we focus on, being from reentry for our returning neighbors, but also we have a veterans program where we mentor veterans and help them keep them off the streets, connecting them to the resources that they need. Because we do a good job with housing veterans, but we don't do a good job at keeping them housed. And we think that they need peer navigators, veterans that have been through the things that they've gone through, that they can help them navigate through the things that they've gone through. Then we have our parenting support vision, our family supportive division. So we have family supportive programs to help build stronger and more unified family. Fatherhood programs, but also motherhood programs, building motherhood circles, brotherhood circles, doing some of the family reunification things, helping brothers with child support, helping mothers get their children back, parenting education, all wrap up our family vision, but also children's programs. We have youth services that we want to bring youth tailored programming to. So right now it's just I'm building and I'm trying to reach as many community members, businesses as possible to help make this happen, because we're doing this 100% grassroots, all of our own, using our own dollars, our own sweat equity. I'm building up relationships now. Like The United Way did award us some funds to help with the Reed Manor people, which was very helpful because we were on boots on the ground, like I said, from day one. From the first day, the community helped me raise over 50 boxes of pizza. So I showed up with 50 boxes of pizza when I was at that meeting, and they didn't have any food for them. You know, we had 17 people in hotels until they got their stuff together and took over those people. And we've been case managing them since the fire. So to be able to get some type of award for some of the work that we were actually doing, that was like one of the most satisfying things to actually see that the community sees us. Right. And then just recently, the Jackson Community Foundation awarded us a little bit of money to help support our fatherhood event. So just to see that some of the community is really starting to buy into our ideas. They're seeing our message. They're seeing the actual work that we're doing in the community, and they're starting to support. So it's just all about building now.
Yes, sir. Heck yeah. Well, I'll share the hell out of it. Any of our normal guests that I know watch, Rick, any of you guys watching, anybody wants to make a donation, reach out to Justin Counts on Facebook or JacksonStrengthNetwork.org. Yes, awesome.
Yes, and any checks can be made out to Jackson Strength Network.
Awesome, dude. No, this is great, dude. That's awesome, man. I'm super excited that you're moving along with this. Also, recovery is June 26th. You can find a resource table from Justin Counts there as well. So if you have any questions or any type of stuff of that nature, you can always see him in person and ask him about that there. That'll be at the Commonwealth Building.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes. Shout out to Home of New Vision.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
I sit on their board too.
So. Heck yeah, dude. I didn't know that. Right on, dude.
Yeah, see,
man.
I don't tell everything that I do.
Yeah.
But I sit on their board. I sit on quite a few boards around.
Awesome. Well, dude, I know how much you love the community and how much you try to do for the community. It's I know you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm trying to learn this thing called take a day off.
Yeah.
Which is self-care, navigating burnout, avoiding secondary trauma and re-traumatization. Yes.
Man, is there anything that you wanted to share about the Jackson Strength Network? Is there anything I didn't ask? Is there anything you really wanted to talk about?
Just to let people know that we have a robust team, man. It's not just me.
Yeah.
I know I speak for Jackson Strength Network a lot, but we are literally a network. Speaking of Carrie with More Than a Pretty Face podcast, she does all of our marketing and advertisement, and she's also going to be running a women's empowerment series. So every person that we have, like literally in our network, you might not see them every day, but they're here, and we have a team, and we're looking to continually to build. Because like I said in the beginning, everybody has a skill. Everybody has a unique gift. Then we need to come together, right? That's why I love coming on your show, even though I do podcasts too. Carrie does podcasts. We all do the same thing, right? But we have to have a coalition of all of us coming together.
Yes, sir.
Right? So I told Carrie, we need to have a podcast convention. We need a podcast association.
Do like how they do the pod awards or whatever.
Yes.
I feel like something similar where you get us all together.
Yes, and we can start communing together because the idea is to bring communities together, right? Jackson is one of the most interesting communities that I've ever been. Right. We're so blended, but we're so blended and separate at the same time. We have to really start to step outside of our own selves, out of our own biases, right? Our own thoughts, and say it's okay if somebody doesn't believe the same thing as you. It's okay if they don't look the same as you. We can all be people. We can all come together, and we can all want the same things because we do truly want the same things. The mother that lives on First Street wants her neighborhood to be safe, just like you want your neighborhood to be safe. We want education. We want jobs. We want opportunities. We want things for our kids to do. We're all the same. So if we can start to come together and show people it's not about me, I don't care about me, or I don't care about my business over your business. Let's come together. We can barter. You need something. Hey, I can come shoot your video. Maybe you can come help me paint my fence. Let's get back to that, especially with this economy being the way it is, right? Jackson's a small place. We all know each other, so why not?
Well, be friendly with people, and people are your enemies. And a hand up, not a handout. I think you said that to me. I've used that so much. frequently. Recently, not frequently.
You do not have to agree with somebody or like somebody or believe the same things as somebody to be nice and get along with people.
Yeah.
You just don't talk about it. Like if that's something that like it's a motivator for you to get mad and to be shitty, okay, just don't talk about it.
Well, in Amador, he's the Democratic chairperson. He taught me, and it seems so minute, but he really did teach me this. You can find common ground with anybody.
Yes.
Anybody. I do not care if you're a fucking alien. We could agree on gas prices. We could agree on. There is something we can find a common ground on. Period.
And that's what Justice Traffic Network, when I built it, right? I didn't want people to just label me in one place, like, oh, this is a black organization, and that. Our organization is everything, literally a mix of everything. We have agnostics, we have believers, we have Republicans, we have Democrats, we have liberals, we have people that don't even participate at all. We have literally all kinds of people together. Some people are Wiccan, some people are Christian, literally all kinds of people, because you have to have that balance, right? You have to have true equity is making sure that everybody has access to the same thing, right? And if you serve in the community, I believe your company, your organization should look like the community, right? And there's all types of people in the community. I know white kids that grew up on First Street. They're just as hood as anybody else, and they talk just like me. They dress just like me. We listen to the same music. We go to the same Muhammad's and buy the same chicken. Right? So culturally, I can identify with him. But he's not necessarily going to identify with someone who maybe went to Northwest. That white kid, even though they might look the same, they're going to dress different, listen to two different musics, all of that. So where's his representation? And I used to say that to community action agency, like, man, you got to find the white kid that lives on First Street. He needs to work in here too. Right? Needs to be in Head Start. I need to see the young white kid with Air Forces on and what up, though, when they walk in the classroom.
Wearing the polo with the fucking whatever khaki shorts.
And he knows about.
Not all of us are the same.
Not all of us the same. And because if we did that, think about if we really hired police officers from Jackson that know about Muhammad's, literally, that grew up eating Muhammad's chicken.
New York does
New
York does that. It should be a law.
I am going to scream this from the rooftops forever. We need police to walk the beat. We need them to be from here. We need them to know and have the rapport and know the inner workings of how the community functions and not come in externally and be like, well, this is bad. No, this is helping people. This is not something you should mess with. You should focus on this over here because that is the problem.
Well, you would know that.
It used to be like that. Like when I was little in New Jersey, we would have Officer Fred. Like Officer Fred knew our whole family. He would know my grandmother, everything. And even though Officer Fred was a white man, Italian man, he probably didn't care for us too much. But at the same time, Officer Fred knew your whole family. Justin's grandmother works at the courthouse. She's a stenographer. He comes from good family. His father is a firefighter. I know that young man. Hey, Justin, go home, man. You ain't supposed to be out here. Right? So now when that officer interacted with me, even when I was doing bad stuff, right, he would look at me and see the real person, not the stigma, not the unconscious bias, right? So when you hire people from here, they're going to know, like, man, that's Johnny. That's Johnny's boy. Johnny boy, they a little rough around the edges, but his mama,
take him home, he'll be all right. Let's sober up or whatever.
Let's get him together. We ain't gonna ruin his life.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna kill him because he's not a threat to me. Just like every manor, right? You deal with mentally ill people. Mentally ill people can sometimes seem aggressive, right?
Well, they get frazzled or whatever their problem. Yes, 100%.
The old director, Lori Ingram, when I worked there, she was adamant against not having armed security for that reason. She said, I don't want to come home and hear that a security guard shot one of my residents because they didn't know how to professionally deal with the person.
Which I believe that
I like that.
I believe that the police are working towards understanding more. I know they have the angel programs, they have the liaisons, they have the CIT.
We have to support them more.
Yes.
The community has to support them more.
Yes.
Because the police are here to protect us. They're our tool. We hire the police. We pay for their salaries. It's our job to make sure that they have the tools necessary to do the job. Right. And we have to have them. There needs to be more conversation because even the police think that we're against them, you know, and it's not the truth. Like I tell officers all the time, we care about your safety. We pray for your safety just like everybody else's safety. But we're asking you to come to the table with more understanding, more caring, and more knowledge so that you can have the tools necessary to do your job properly. Because everybody doesn't deserve to be shot. Everybody doesn't deserve to be this, you know, this whole F around and find out mindset. You know, I said this last night. We can't call ourselves a true God-fearing nation, right? With this F around and find out model. Because God never told you F around and find out, right? He said to him, one sin is like the other sin. So if you're a homosexual, you're just like a thief. If you're a thief, you're just like a homosexual. So in God's eyes, there is no difference if you believe, right? And also, if you believe, you're supposed to believe in this redemption, that you have a chance to be something else, to do something else. And when we cut people's ability off for change by not giving them the tools and resources or just the chance to change, we're saying that we know better than God. Because if someone would have shot and killed me before God got a chance to change my life, then I wouldn't be here, right? Because I've been arrested before. So if a police officer would have stomped me out at that moment and decided to take me away, I would have never gotten the chance to be redeemed by God. Right? So we have to give people a chance to let God work. If we believe in God's power, then we have to give him a chance to work. And that's what harm reduction is about. Right? When we do harm reduction, if I'm giving a person Narcan, it's because I want to save their life long enough so that he can save their life, right? It's not up to us to take them out before he can save them. So we're just doing them that gracious favor of allowing them a chance for God to do his work.
I am not going to ruin that ending. I'm going to ask my one wrap-up question for this episode. What is the definition of success for Jackson Strength Network?
The definition of success is just growing. Because I know as long as we're growing, then the momentum is moving. Because we just want to heal people from their trauma, give them the skills that they need to be successful, and hopefully that they will replicate the process and create more leaders in our community.
Justin, thank you, dude. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to cut the cameras, and then I'll ask you to sign my table.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for watching.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.